All right, finally, the section 8.5, your turn. If you haven't done these, turn it off. Try them on your own. You're not going to learn anything from just watching me do them. Try them, then you see what you did wrong and try to learn from your mistakes. Okay, so our first example here. The first thing you need to realize is that it's already factored and it is set equal to 0. So all we have to do to solve this is simply take each of these factors that contain an x and set them equal to 0. So either x plus 1 equals 0 or x minus 1 equals 0. And so then we solve these very, very simple linear equations. So x is equal to -1 or x is equal to a positive 1. And so those are our solutions. X is equal to, I'll put -1 or a positive 1, and I'll put the or in here, and then I can box both of these up. Now on the next problem, what we're looking at is we're looking at an equation that's not in standard form. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring the -6 over to the or left side so that it's in standard form. So I have 8x squared minus 2x minus 6. Now the next thing that I'm going to look at is that these all have a 2 in common. And so I'm going to take out a factor of 2. So 2 times 4x minus x squared minus x, and then minus 3. And now I'm looking for the factors of 4 and 3 that when I mix and match them will give me a difference of 1. So 3 times 4 is 12. The factors of 12 that give me a difference of 1 exist. So I can certainly factor this. And I'm going to factor this into 4x and an x for my factors of 4. And I'm going to put a 3 in here and a 1 in here for my factors of 3. And I need a -1, so I'm going to make the outside product -4 and the inside product +3. And that's going to make my difference of -1. And now every factor that contains a variable, I'm going to set equal to 0. This one right here, this 2, doesn't contain a 0. Because it doesn't contain a 0, I don't set it equal, or excuse me, not a 0, an x. It doesn't contain an x, I'm not going to set it equal to 0. So only 4x plus 3 or x minus 1 can equal 0. 2 is never going to equal 0, right? That would be silly. And so I solve each of these, and when I come out with my solution, then those are my solutions. So 4x is equal to -3, or x is equal to a -3/4 there. Or I have a +1 here and a +1 here, so x is equal to +1. So it's either x is equal to +1 or x is equal to -3/4. Now moving on to my next problem, you see this is a -x squared. I'm going to take that over to the right because we don't want a negative leading coefficient. So I'm going to add 4x squared in here and in here. And so that's going to give me 0 is equal to 4x squared plus 8x plus 3. And then I'm going to want the factors of 12, 3 times 4, that give me sum of 8. That would be 2 and 6. And so I'm going to want 4 factored as 2x and 2x to accomplish that one with the factors of 3. And put a 3 in here and a 1 out here. There's my 6 and there's my 1. And those are both going to be positive. And then I'm going to set each factor that contains an x equal to 0, and I'm going to solve each of those and find the solution. So we have each of these set equal to 0, and then solve those very simple linear equations. And when I finish solving the first one, I see that my x is equal to a -1/2 over here. Or when I finish solving this one over here, I see that my x is going to be equal to a -3/2 or a -1 and 1/2 on this side. So we have those two solutions there. And we have 3 more in the first problem, and then we'll have 3 in the next problem, and we'll do another video here to finish these 6 more problems that we have.